put a cup of coffee in a proper cup of coffee pot. And you're rolling now, aren't you? Yeah. Hi, I'm Luke, and today we're going to talk about e-commerce. And look, if you've been living under a rock and never bought anything online, you may not know what e-commerce is, but I'm pretty sure that most of us these days have actually purchased something online. And maybe you have an online store already, maybe you're looking at doing it, maybe you've got a business that you've got set up and you're looking to go online. So hopefully today we're going to talk about some things that will be helpful to you. So first of all, just a little bit about e-commerce and why we think e-commerce is so powerful and such a valuable method of finding new customers. As you know, like I said, if you're just going purely online, or whether you're going, you've actually got a store already and you're going to take that online in the e-commerce platform. So look, bricks and mortar stores unfortunately are in decline, and e-commerce is growing. It's not that we'll lose all of our bricks and mortar stores, of course, but there's definitely a trend, and particularly among niche markets and markets that might struggle or need to be in more populated areas. There is definitely a value in going online and trading online in that regard, because obviously you can reach more people. The other factor is the actual cost of setting up an e-commerce store, and the running costs. Obviously much lower than running a bricks and mortar store. You don't have the cost of an expensive fit out. Your staffing costs can be much lower, even though you still obviously can have staff running e-commerce depending on how big you are. But the startup and running costs are definitely much lower. But it's not like there's no cost either. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later when we give some tips and advice about how to set up your e-commerce store effectively. The other thing is that by trading online, by selling online, you have access to data about your customers and potential customers that you just wouldn't have in the traditional methods of having a physical store. And that data is real time, and you can optimize and tweak your store to make it much more effective and to be much more profitable, without outlaying lots of money to do surveys and to do focus groups, or however you would do that kind of research traditionally. I think, as we've mentioned before, reaching outside of your local area. So if you've got a physical location, obviously your reach is limited depending on your business and how far people are willing to travel. Whereas online, obviously, you can reach nationally, internationally. There really is no boundary in that sense. Ease of use when it comes to inventory and management of inventory. Obviously, whereas you have to stock shelves or whatever it might be, traditionally it's very, very straightforward adding new product to a web store. You've also got an employee who works when you're not working. So, you can be at home and your store is online and it's still doing business while you're putting your feet up and relaxing after a hard day's work. And it certainly, as I've kind of mentioned before, if you've got a niche business, something that may have traditionally have had to be in a large metropolitan area to have the market, e-commerce stores have now allowed very unique niche businesses to be profitable and to reach people who are looking for their products and services, or their products online, and are able to find them without having to travel great distances, or like I used to do when I was a kid. I used to get into comics, and so I'd ring the comic store and I'd order my comics from Sydney and I'd get them sent through to me. And nowadays you could just jump online, tick what you want, put it in your cart, pay for it, and it will arrive. So much easier in that regard at reaching those audiences, and particularly in the niche market. Ability to scale obviously is a massive factor. So the ability to actually increase the size of your business, obviously there's the overheads involved in doing that online are far less than if you were doing that, with a bricks and mortar store. Setting up a brand new store somewhere physically obviously doesn't, the cost comparison is just, it doesn't even compare. And most of all, the convenience factor. If you've ever shopped online, which I'm sure you have, you know how convenient it is just to kind of browse, take your time, don't have a salesperson coming up to you and saying, "Can I help you?" Well, sometimes you do. You have a little pop-up there and people can chat to you, and that can be helpful sometimes. But in general, you can just browse at your leisure and then make your decision. And the process should be, if the cart's set up properly and the site's set up properly, very easy and painless. And so that convenience factor is huge for consumers, and it's good for you as a business that's trading online. So that's a little bit about why we think e-commerce is such a powerful platform. We've got a blog post about that written by Harvey, one of our part of our internet marketing team, who worked extensively and for a good period of time on an online store, and he was managing that site and managing all the aspects of that. So he certainly had good insight and hands-on experience. We've certainly had a lot of experience as a company with e-commerce websites, and we definitely think it's a really valuable platform, both for new businesses that are going to bring a product to market, or businesses that already have a physical store and are looking to go online. And we're going to do another video talking about the 5 things that we think are really important in setting up an e-commerce website. So please check out that video. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and check out the other videos we have about internet marketing and websites and all things with making your business more profitable online. Thanks for watching.